All right, everybody. Welcome to my very first YouTube live series. I'm kind of excited about this. This is something that I've wanted to do for quite some time and finally have kind of got a rhythm into being able to do these live segments. And the reason why I wanted to do these is because I get a ton of questions, both in the comments of my video and also via text message or via email, all of that. And I wanted to make sure that there was an outlet where I could really interact with the community and answer all of those questions around some of the big topics that I get and that I talk about. So tonight, I want to show you how some cruisers are getting premium loyalty status on Virgin Voyages and saving over 5 years worth of travel headaches. And you can do this all without ever sailing with them before. And how do I know that? It's because that's actually exactly what I did. I had premium perks with Virgin Voyages before I even stepped foot on board. So if you want to know more about that, I did just release a video on Sunday. So go to my channel and definitely go and check that out if you are interested in learning a little bit more about what that process looks like. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is John Whaley, and I have been cruising for over 30 years. And today I work as a travel advisor, helping people make confident, stress-free cruise decisions, especially when it comes to value, perks, and avoiding costly mistakes. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by cruise choices, loyalty programs, or ever wondered whether sticking with a certain cruise line actually pays off over time, you are definitely in the right place tonight. So, like I said, tonight we're specifically talking about cruise loyalty and status matching with a focus on Virgin Voyages. And the reason why I'm focusing on Virgin Voyages is because they're doing something very, very different. And I think it gives us a little bit of an insight into where the cruise industry as a whole is headed when it comes to loyalty. I know people have heard a lot about what is going on with Carnival Cruise Line right now and their VIFP loyalty program. There's been a lot of backlash around that. You can search for any YouTube video around that topic if you want to learn more. But cruise lines are starting to change, and Virgin Voyages is really kind of taking the helm and doing things a little bit different, which is right up their alley. Virgin Voyages is being different. They entered the cruise industry or the cruise market with the idea of being a different cruise line. So we're going to talk about why they're different, who this is actually makes sense for, and how to think about loyalty strategically versus emotionally, which is something that a lot of cruisers have a difficult time with. So one thing that I want to make clear is Virgin isn't asking you how many times you've sailed with them. That's what a majority of the cruise lines are going after right now. If you've sailed X amount of nights, you are at X loyalty level. Virgin is not looking at it that way. They are actually looking at you as a traveler overall. Do you know what the value of premium is? Have you experienced travel, whether that's through an airline or through a hotel chain? They are actually doing a lot of really cool things and kind of meshing travel as a whole into the cruising lifestyle. So over the next 30 minutes, I am going to walk through the most important questions I get about loyalty programs, what perks actually matter, and how to decide whether staying loyal to one cruise line or spreading out makes more sense for you. So this isn't about chasing discounts or anything like that. It is literally going to be about saving time, avoiding regret, and getting more out of your trip you've already earned. So if you have questions as we go along, drop them in the chat box to the side and I will get to them. I will try and answer most of them live, but if I don't get to it, I will try and post my response in the comments section below. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. All right. One of the biggest questions that I get around loyalty and status match programs is, should I stay loyal to one cruise line or should I spread it out over several different cruise lines and just use status match to kind of build up my repertoire of loyalty across different cruise lines? So the first thing I have to say about this is if you find a cruise line that has a great vibe and you are really interested and enjoy cruising with a one specific cruise line, then stick with it. There's no need to change. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Stick with that cruise line. Go ahead and earn up those loyalty points. If you're one of those that likes to kind of bounce around a little bit, try different things, try different cruise lines, try different vibes, then Yeah, go ahead, spread it out. Status match is going to be your best bet. So if there is particularly a cruise line that you cruise a lot with or more than others, definitely tap into their loyalty program. The one thing I will tell people is you need to also be able to um, sign up for those programs right when you book your first cruise with whatever cruise line that's going to be. A lot of cruise lines do require you to sign up beforehand. Virgin, something that they do different is they do automatically enroll you into their loyalty program. So whether you like it or not, you're going to be a part of their loyalty program. I wish more cruise lines would do this, but things like Celebrity and Royal Caribbean and Silver Seas, any of the Royal Caribbean group, you do have to sign up for their loyalty programs before you cruise. Now, if you do cruise and you're not part of their loyalty program, there is a way for them to go in and kind of match you with your past cruises. And so you can get credit with that, but it's just an extra step that you have to take that I think a lot of cruisers just really find kind of frustrating. They might as well just enroll you from the very beginning. So for me, kind of how I got to the loyalty place that I am, I sailed a lot with Carnival growing up. So I actually had platinum status with Carnival after about 15 years of cruising with them. If you aren't familiar with Carnival's VIFP club, it is changing. Like I said in my intro, there's a lot of things going on around Carnival right now, and they are catching some heat. Like I said, go out and take a look at any of the YouTube videos that are out there around that. There are some pretty upset people around that, and most of that comes from frustration to those members of their loyalty program that are at the platinum level because they're actually going to be getting less perks than what they're currently getting now. Carnival has come out and said that they're going to try and ease people into the new program and give them an opportunity to kind of get to that next level in different ways, just to kind of help ease that backlash a little bit. However, in a nutshell, Carnival is taking away benefits from their loyal members. And so one of the things, like I said, I was at that Carnival Platinum level. And really, if you know that platinum level, that's really where you start to get some of the perks that make it worth the loyalty. If you start out, usually entry level to loyalty programs will get you like a pin or maybe a free drink or something like that on your cruise line. It's not going to be anything that's super crazy, but as you build that loyalty status through the years of cruising with them, you do get things like private parties, special events. You get more maybe onboard credit or better deals. You can get cabin upgrades if you are at certain levels on loyalty. And that's really where I started to see some of those lifestyle perks come into play is at Carnival Platinum level. So what was kind of holding me back, I outgrew the Carnival vibe. Nothing against Carnival or anything like that, but I just was looking for something that was a little bit more premium. I was becoming more of a foodie, so I wanted something that had a little bit more food that wasn't just kind of out of the box cruise cuisine. So what I did is started doing some research on Virgin Voyages. And as I was doing that, Virgin Voyages kind of emerged as this different cruise line. They were, again, kind of touted doing things different in the cruise line. And I was really intrigued by that. And if you know me at all outside of my YouTube channel, I love to create spreadsheets and do lots of research. So that's exactly what I did. I did a lot of research on Virgin Voyages and I came across their status match program. And what was keeping me with Carnival in the past was I had this platinum status. I didn't want to have to start over from scratch. So when I found Virgin Voyages status match program, I really had an understanding of like, hey, they're going to match my status that I have over here at Carnival with their loyalty program. And I don't have to start over from zero before I even start with another cruise line. And so that's really what pushed me over the edge to go to Virgin Voyages. And I have been a loyal Virgin fan. If you've seen any of my videos on my YouTube channel, I'm definitely a loyal Virgin Voyages fan just from that respect. And again, it's because they were treating people not necessarily by how much you've traveled with us, but how you've traveled in general. So that's really why Virgin approach really stood out to me. So I wasn't feeling frustrated that I had to start over with another cruise line or anything like that. One other thing that I want to bring up around, why it's important to either stick with one cruise line or spread it out over different cruise lines is most of the cruise lines out there. If you look at Royal Caribbean Corporation, they own Royal Caribbean, they own Celebrity Cruises, they own Silver Sea. So what they've done is they've allowed you to, and speaking of Royal, they just announced a big change where you can actually transfer loyalty between their different cruise lines. So more information on that coming soon. Hint, hint, there might be a video about that. But they're allowing you to transfer if you've been on Royal Caribbean and you have status with Royal Caribbean, and your vibe has kind of changed and you want something that's maybe a little bit more quiet, a little bit more premium, and you decide to go to Celebrity Cruises, you can now transfer your loyalty. There's a point exchange that goes on there, so there's a little bit of math that has to be done, but you can actually get your loyalty transferred over to Celebrity and start using that, and without even having sailed on Celebrity in the past. So a lot of bigger corporations that have multiple lines are starting to do that. So if you're looking at maybe bouncing around between cruise lines, maybe do it within the same cruise line family. That would probably help you out a little bit on that side of things as well. So I want to know what you think. If you are loyal to one cruise line, definitely type loyal in the chat. I would love to hear your side of things. Otherwise, if you are open to bouncing around to different cruise lines and just going to rely on that status match to be able to go, open. Type open in the chat below. Like I said, I love getting feedback and being able to see all of your responses come through and getting that real-time feedback. So if there's any questions over kind of maybe your specific situation around where if you've sailed with a cruise line or you've kind of bounced around between cruise lines, definitely hit me up. I would love to have a conversation with you just to kind of chat through what that might look like. What are some options for you to kind of make sure that you're taking full advantage of your loyalty status? So the next question that I get around loyalty programs is, are they even worth chasing, or are the perks really overhyped? Where does it really start to pay off to have loyalty with a specific cruise line? So the way cruise line loyalty programs work, most cruise lines right now are going by the number of nights that you have spent on board one of their ships. So for example, with Carnival, after your first cruise, you go from blue to red. And then once you are at your red, then after you've spent 30 days at sea with them, you go up to gold. And then from gold up to 75 nights, then you get to platinum. And so it really kind of depends on the number of nights that you've stayed. Now, there are some cruise lines, and Virgin is one of them, that goes by cruise. I actually don't really like this approach that cruise lines are doing. I think that per night is a lot better, just because if you have somebody that takes a 4-night cruise on Virgin Voyages and somebody that takes a 10-day or 10-night cruise on Virgin Voyages, right now Virgin is counting each of those as one, even though you were technically on board for twice as long as the person that's getting credit over here for that one cruise. So I do think, kind of looking into my crystal ball, I do think that there's going to be some changes coming to Virgin Voyages loyalty program. They've been around for about 5 years now. And so I can start to see people that are starting to be Virgin Voyages loyalists start to kind of max out their loyalty, and they're kind of asking for more, like, hey, I want more. So we will see if kind of what that happens. But I do believe that loyalty programs are worth chasing. Even if you're just getting a little souvenir pin, or even if you're just getting a free drink or something like that, just think of it, that's not a drink that you have to pay for, or that's a souvenir that you didn't have to pay for. And then once you start to rack up those loyalty perks, you get to those higher levels of loyalty, you can start to really see some of those lifestyle perks that get in there. Now I'm not talking you're going to get a free upgrade from an interior cabin to a suite or anything like that. But what they do offer you are things like laundry. Super simple, but you know what? It's super nice to be able to just pack all of your clean laundry into your suitcase at the end of your cruise and go home and not have to worry about doing all your laundry, or having minimal dirty laundry when you get there. So things like that, or maybe you don't have to pack as much because you can do your laundry halfway through the cruise, and it's going to save on your baggage fees if you have to fly, or your luggage fees, checked luggage fees. So those are the things that start to really kind of add up. And when you think about it strategically, it can really start to make sense from a budgetary standpoint as well. So the other things that other perks that often come with it are, a lot of times cruise lines will give you a free room upgrade. In fact, with Celebrity Cruise, this is actually one of the really cool things about their loyalty program. It's called their Captain's Club, but you can actually, on your second cruise, so you have to cruise with them once to get into their program. But once you get past 2 nights with them, you actually get upped to their next status level, which actually gives you access to free room upgrades. So that's something to take a look at. Every loyalty program is going to be a little bit different, but you can definitely take advantage of that. Another perk that I think is overlooked by a lot of people that I think is super worth the effort is a lot of these loyalty programs will offer you a free maybe cocktail hour or a networking event with other people at that same loyalty status level as you are. This is a great way to just go out and meet other people. That they've cruised, that specific cruise line. So if that's your thing, I really enjoy going to these special events. Virgin does a great job with that. They usually have some like live music, some free cocktails for an hour or so. But it's just a really cool way to go and meet people while you're on the cruise as well, to potentially make a cruise friend for a lifetime. So definitely take a look at some of those. And again, even some of those things that may not seem that great or might not have that much of a monetary value to them, like the free events, they're still worth it. I think you need to take advantage of those for sure. One of the other perks that I really enjoy as you kind of get up in loyalty programs are the dedicated support. So if you've ever been on a cruise before, going down to the customer service area on a cruise ship, those lines, especially on embarkation day and on the last night of the cruise, can get super, super long. A lot of times with loyalty programs, they will have a dedicated line that tends to be shorter than kind of the general support line. So you can actually get in and out a little bit better, or a little easier as well. So again, those are things that just kind of make your cruise experience elevated a little bit more. And you're not paying for any of those. You're just getting credit. They're giving those to you because you've sailed with them. You've been a loyal travel companion with that specific cruise line for a long time. So definitely think of those types of things as we work through the different loyalty programs that are out there. And again, every cruise line has a different loyalty program. So just make sure that you understand kind of the program as it is, what benefits are available to you. Because a lot of times, another tip that I always tell people is cruise lines don't necessarily put it out there that you have all of these perks. You have to ask for them, or make it worthwhile, and maybe put in a little bit more effort to be able to get some of those perks. And so just make sure that you know what you're entitled to with your perks program, and make sure that you ask and take advantage of all of the perks that are available to you. All right, here. I'm just going to jump over and check the questions here real quick. I don't see any, but if you do have any questions, make sure you definitely put those in the chat. I would love to hear and see kind of what's on everyone's mind, or if there's any other questions that you might have. So, all right. So how loyalty programs really work. This is one section that I wanted to spend a little bit of time on, to really just kind of talk about the different tiers, what counts, what doesn't count, being able to transfer those points, like I said, some of those things that are happening in the cruise industry that are making loyalty programs. People either love or hate these loyalty programs that are out there. So, first off, the way a loyalty program works is they have tiers. Each cruise line has a set of tiers. Some may have 6 tiers, some may have 3 tiers. It just really kind of depends on the cruise line. But usually they have an entry level tier. So on Virgin Voyages, for example, it's called their sailing club. If you sail with them after your first cruise, you are automatically enrolled in their sailing club. And there's, some perks, some pretty simple perks that come along with that. The next section or the next tier that comes up on Virgin Voyages is called their Blue Extra. And that is when you have sailed twice with Carnival or with Virgin on your third sailing, you actually get those Blue Extra perks. And that's where things start to really kick in. You get some laundry, you get some free coffee. So any of your premium coffees, your lattes, your cappuccinos, flat whites, anything like that, you get one of those per day. And then after you have sailed with them 5 times, so on your 6th sailing, you actually get upgraded to what are called Deep Blue Extras. And this is where you get things like laundry, you get 2 specialty coffee items per day, you get extra money to put on your bar tab, which is kind of like your onboard account for drinks on Virgin Voyages. So those are some of the things that you can get kind of as you work through the tiers. With Celebrity, I had mentioned Celebrity earlier as well. They have a series of tiers. I believe they have 5 now. I think they have 5 now. But at each level, you just get incrementally more perks. And again, usually you have to get up to that level 4, level 5, some of those upper level tiers before they really start to kick in and have a value. But it's definitely worth being able to go in and pick those up. Like I said, most cruise lines do require you to apply for those before you sail. It's completely free of charge. The cruise lines, there's not a cruise line out there that I know of that charges you anything to enroll in their loyalty program. Again, it's an initiative by them to get you to continue to sail with them. So it's actually better for them if they just give it to you for free. If you ever run across a scam out there where somebody can be like, well, hey, you pay me $100 and I'll get you into this tier on this cruise line. That is a scam. Please do not fall for that. I know that there's some scams around that going on right now out there. I've read a couple articles around that. So definitely keep an eye out for that. The only way for you to get from one loyalty level to the next is either continually sailing with that brand or doing something like a status match. So the other thing I wanted to talk about around how loyalty programs actually work is the status match piece of it. Now, this is different from the loyalty program. So what status match allows you to do is it allows you to, again, move your current loyalty status with one cruise line to another. And this is pretty rare. Most cruise lines will do some sort of status match. However, it's not a great program. And that's really where Virgin Voyages has stepped out of the norm when it comes to status match. First off, most cruise lines will only match to other cruise lines, whereas with Virgin Voyages right now, they are actually allowing you to step into their status programs with status from airlines and hotels. Now, this is a limited time offer that Virgin is doing. In fact, the clock is ticking on this right now. So if you're thinking about doing that, definitely take a look at my last video that I made on Sunday and posted. They definitely will have some information on how to apply and get that going for you as well. But that's status matches is again just kind of taking, for example, I was platinum on Carnival Cruise Line. I was able to take my platinum status and get right into what Virgin used to call their Sea Rover program, which was kind of their top tier program. which then got kind of grandfathered into their Deep Blue Extras, which is their top tier loyalty program. I've gone on Virgin Voyages for 8 times now, sailed with them 8 times now. So I would have been in that category by now anyway. But what was really nice is I didn't have to start from zero. I was able to get into their Deep Blue Extras program before I even stepped on board because I already had status with Carnival. So definitely take advantage of that as well. So if you have any sort of status, whether it's with a cruise line or a hotel or maybe an airline or whatever, drop that in the chat right now as well. Like I said, a majority of people don't really take advantage of like hotel and flight status. There's a lot of people that are Hilton Rewards members or that are and have status with Hilton or Marriott Rewards, or you have Delta medallion status, or any of the other airline statuses that are out there. Look at how you can match those, not only hotel to airline, airline to hotel, but now into the cruise industry as well. So even if you enjoy travel and maybe you just have never cruised before, that is definitely an option. You want to try something different, make sure that you check out what that is. So drop those down in the chat section. I'd love to hear from you guys as well around what that looks like, or what kind of statuses you might have with other cruise lines or airlines or hotels for that matter. All right. So just a quick reminder. I'm coming up here on the end of the live feed here. I just wanted to stick it for 30 minutes just to kind of get my feet wet with these lives. But just a quick reminder, if you want a deeper breakdown like this, I send out a weekly email where I explain things in plain English and flag opportunities and deals like this super early. So if you're interested in learning more about some stuff that I don't necessarily get to talk about all of the time on YouTube or on any of my social media platforms, definitely sign up for that weekly email that goes out every Monday. So that link, again, will be down in the description of this live feed video as well. So the last area that I wanted to just touch on here real quick is who is this for and who this is not for. So this is a very important topic to kind of talk for. If you're one of those people that's just like, hey, I'm going on a ladies trip and it's going to be the only time that I cruise, is this really worth it for me? Well, if you're looking at sailing on a brand like Virgin, if you do have other status, maybe you fly a lot or you stay at a lot of hotels, this is definitely worth it for you. Or again, if you get on Virgin and you really enjoy the experience, or you get on Carnival or Royal or Celebrity or any other cruise line and you really enjoy that experience, if this is your first time, it's not going to hurt to sign up. Again, it doesn't cost you anything to sign up to be a part of these loyalty programs. So definitely, I think that it is worth it no matter what. So even if you're kind of a first-time cruiser, definitely sign up for those loyalty points. Again, if you never use it again, that's totally fine. But at least if you do use it, you're already kind of getting those points and earning that status as well. So the other thing that I think is, if you are looking to build a better trip or have a more elevated experience, the more you cruise with a cruise or with a specific cruise line, definitely take a look at joining their loyalty programs. This is honestly, it can build a better trip for you. And it is just one of those things that it's a no-brainer. To me, it is just absolutely a no-brainer. So if you are looking at booking anything through Virgin or any of the other cruise lines, let me know. I can definitely help walk you through some of the questions, or maybe you're still deciding on which cruise line might be right for you. Let me know. Each cruise line has a little bit different vibe. And if you don't get that vibe right, you will definitely not enjoy your trip. So if this at all helps clarify things for you, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I would love to, I'm well on my way to 2,500 subscribers, and I would love to get there sooner rather than later. And the only way I can do that is with your help. So please click that subscribe button. It truly do appreciate all of that. I am going to be doing lives like this regularly, so you can make that decision with confidence and say, "Hey, I want to join John." If there is a specific topic that you would like to see me cover on any of my live feeds, definitely post that down in the comment section below. So drop any last minute questions in the chat, and I will stay on for a few extra minutes here if you do have any other questions. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on my very first live feed. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up in that chat. If you didn't, just feel free to disconnect. That's totally fine too. So I'm looking forward to continuing this process, continuing these live feeds, and hopefully we can make this insightful and definitely beneficial for all of you viewers. Also, don't forget to check out any of the other videos on my channel while you're over there as well. So, like I said, I'm going to stick around for just a couple more minutes. If anybody has any questions, please let me know in the live chat. Otherwise, have a great rest of your night and enjoy. Have smooth sailing the rest of your week. Thank you so much. All right. I appreciate you sticking around here towards the end a little bit. Like I said, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. If not, the video that I posted on Sunday is a great resource as well. So if you don't want to post anything in the chat or anything, please feel free to watch that video, comment, reach out to me. My contact information is in all of my video descriptions as well. So don't hesitate to reach out. I want to be as available to you as I absolutely can. This comes at no cost to you either, so please don't think that you're obligated to do anything if you reach out and ask a question. So definitely thank you so much. And I will definitely see everybody in the next live feed. If there's no other questions, I'll hang on here for another 15, 20 seconds or so. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. So thank you so much for joining me, and we'll definitely catch you in the next one.